We are here with Shay Walsh. Shay is an ex-world champion MMA fighter. Now you have your own gym, Shay. You train lots of
Yep.
upcoming fighters, and you also do quite a lot of UFC work as well, don't you,
hmm
around the world? What originally brought you to PEMFiT, Shay?
A couple of things really. I'd started hearing about PEMF therapy through some podcasts and stuff I was listening to, and like the sort of biohacking space and stuff like that. And
Mm.
then a friend of mine alerted me to the fact that there was one in Lancaster. So that perked up my interest straight away, and we got in touch with each other, and then made my first visit. I don't know, it must be a couple of years ago now. I think maybe.
Yeah, it is about 2 years. I
Yeah.
think just over 2 years you've been coming to
hmm
us. So thinking back to then, what areas were you looking to address when you came to PEMFiT?
I mean, I'd first heard about it just about like general health and well-being and stuff, and I didn't know much about it, so I wasn't, I didn't have too much in mind when I first showed up. But then obviously after speaking to you and looking into it a little bit more, I was really interested on like the injury recovery side of things.
Mm,
I've heard a lot about it being good for like brain health, and like
mm.
my occupation meant that I got a few smacks to the head over the years. So anything that could help, sort of change the impact that it had on my brain, I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so about those
yeah,
things really.
yeah. You were definitely here carrying a few injuries when you came to us. I remember there was one in your wrist or your hand,
Yeah,
without looking at your notes. But I know we got to work on that pretty quick as well,
yeah.
didn't we? Excellent. So thinking back again to that session and sessions since then, because you've just had another one. What does it feel like when you're having a PEMFIT session? Can you describe what it feels like?
It's a bit hard to explain, really. You're just lying on the bed, and it's you can feel it like pulsing. It's like on and off. And what I have found after having quite a few different treatments now, that sometimes you feel it in different parts of your body.
Mm,
I think depending where, sometimes I've got a really stiff neck if I've been wrestling a lot and having my head pulled about and stuff like that. So I can feel it strongly in my neck. Today was actually quite a bit lower down my back, and it
yeah.
seems, it's funny how it sort of changes positions where sort of your body needs it.
Mm. You're very in tune with your body, being a pro athlete, so you make the connection with perhaps why you're feeling it in one area than another, which we find really interesting working with athletes like yourself. So, bearing in mind you've had quite a few sessions now, and I'm going to ask you on behalf also of perhaps of some of your fighters, how have things changed since you're now having regular PEMFIT sessions using our equipment, and some of the guys that you're sending over to us when they maybe pick an injury up? How has it supported what you want to do in life?
I mean, it supports me because still, even though I'm not training as much as I was, I'm still very active in the gym, holding pads for people and wrestling around with them and stuff like that. So obviously, anything that can help me stay mobile and healthy and injury free is always going to be beneficial to me for years to come. As you mentioned, we've had a few of the youngsters in that have had fights coming up, and naturally picked up a few knocks and bangs and things like that, and they've had really positive things to say about it. Where they've, where a couple of them have been training for fights, but not really been able to slow down. They don't have that luxury of take 4 weeks off,
Mm,
and you've got a fight coming up. So it's been very beneficial for like managing the pain and
mm,
keeping them to train around their injuries, basically.
yeah. Yeah, it's been really interesting working with you and your team. And I was actually just thinking then when you were speaking that we recently worked with a good mate of yours, Volk,
Yeah,
who came over to launch your new gym, didn't he?
that's right.
And we gave him a session on your launch day,
hmm
and he seemed really interested himself. And
Yeah,
we gave him a good session. He really enjoyed it.
very
So
good.
yeah, seems like the MMA guys like it.
Well, and like I said, anything that can help us, reverse some of the silly things we might be doing to our body. Get
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
that can help us reverse the occupational hazards that we
yeah.
pick up during training is all good.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thanks ever so much, Shay. It's always great working with you and your team. And thanks very much for giving your experience of how you find your PEMFiT sessions.
No worries. Thanks for having me. I'll continue to use the stuff, and another thing that I know that I'm gonna tonight after my session. I always sleep really good. I always sleep really good after my sessions. Feel very comfortable in my bed. It's a shame my alarm will be going off in the morning now. I'll have to get up at some point, but
yeah, but you can look forward to a good night's sleep.
Look forward to a good night's sleep.
Yeah. No, it's a really important point to mention. So yeah, no, thanks for that, and thanks for sharing your experience.
No worries. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Shay.
All right, mate.